Good afternoon. I'm Baek from Ubiologics. Thank you so much for inviting me to this event so that I can introduce you our vaccine development platform and our company. The topic that I'll present is our company's development and our hope and dream toward the future. So our vaccine platform and pipeline we're working on, I'll present about them. First of all, our vision. We will be a global, small but strong company. We want to be a global company in the future. That is our goal. We were founded in 2010, and now our company is 12 years old. And after the early stage, and now we are working on our time of development, and now we will keep working on the time of leaping forward. So, based on our color platform, we will secure a market platform, and then we secured our bio manufacturing platform, and then we are also working on securing various other platforms to further develop our company. From 2018 to 2024 it is our second stage. Based on our platform, we are working on commercializing our vaccine products, and we applied for a Zonctibus vaccine, and also working on our third trial for our vaccines. And we will keep working on oral color vaccine or other vaccines or RSV, among others. So we're planning to expand our market to the private market, and then by enforcing our platform, not only will we diversify our market, but also we will keep working on expanding our scale. If we reach year 2025, the time of leaping forward, there are many people and companies who develop vaccines, but not only get licensing in Korea, but there's no company to be found that got licensed overseas in Europe or the U.S. market. So that is really hurts our pride. How we're as a Korean, but it's really systemically difficult. But we're planning to launch a venture company in the Silicon Valley so that we can work on RSV, herpes zoster, HPV, AD vaccine, among others. We are working on developing them. So we will continue that efforts by year 2030. And then I'll dive into further details. So first of all, like I said, my company was founded in 2010, and we went public on the co-stock market in 2017, and we have the first factory in Chuncheon province and second plant factory as well in Chuncheon. And we have unicorn platform. It's an oral vaccine which has the name of Ubiquol. We exported over 20 million doses, and we have over 95% of market domination. So we say we should have at least one number one medicine, but we did made that goal. But does that have enough influential power? That is another question to think about. Last year, there was the corona pandemic lockdown, and when it comes to our Ubiquol Plus vaccine, self-administration is possible, so that is why we have stable demand. And the first quarter's earnings were announced, and thanks to the good sales of the COVID, we are showing good results. And it is likely that we will have about 40 billion Korean wons of market sales in the next quarter. And others, we have ECML, among others. And I will also move on to the details when I talk about the platform in the later part of my presentation. First of all, is we have UVICT. We named this UVICT, which is a Eurobiologics vaccines conjugation technology. So when it comes to a vaccine developing company, a company should have a vaccine development tool, right? So first of all, when it comes to bacterial vaccination, we have a basic platform for that. When it comes to bacteria, they are covered with polysaccharide, so it's a different story from other kinds of ideas. materials. So you can diversify it, but it's really difficult to create antibody. So you have to apply protein. So in the past, when it comes to Uchron online 7, there is a natural variant toxin, and from the natural type, in order to turn it to a commercialized one, we collaborate with other domestic companies here, and we won two patents. And thanks to this carrier protein development, so we came up with vaccines of others, like a pneumonia vaccine, among others, and organ pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, and meningococcal conjugate vaccines. And we're working on the third clinical trial. Next platform is ULMT, which is an immunomodulation technology. For example, let's say during the COVID pandemic recently in Korea, there were a lot of countries who have been working on this. But if you ask us or other companies, why did you not develop a vaccine? Well, that is because it was not easy without a platform, I would say. So of course, we also put our efforts on UMT platform, but based on our immuno enhancer vaccine, and we found that the antibody creation power was really high. So we found a very promising result. So that is why we began actively developing this, and this ECML by using this combinant equali homologous liquid A is the item here. So when it comes to immunology, it has a power enhancing power, so that you can come up with good vaccine efficacy. And from the key, we adopted this from KIST. We did apply this from KIST, but how we're going to create this as a commercial product by developing this is a question. So we're working on conducting research, and the first one is UCOV-19, which was part of the vaccine development project, and we completed the second trial of the clinical trial. So probably we can commercialize in the future. And this immune system enhancer, when it comes to a company who has this, the GSK company has it, and the Immune Design, a non-profit organization, has another. And next, we also have this technology. So based on this technology, we can work on creating various immunoenhancer. So immuno 01, 02, 03, 04, among others. GSAS01B is highly efficient, and our SK is also working on AS03, among other models, and AS03. There's a scallion oleo vaccine included in it, and we are suggesting here in the picture. These all include ECLMA, rifosome type, among others. So you can create various types, such as KLL0123 or ECLS1Q realm, among other types, can be produced based on this immune booster. So we're working on creating a platform based on this technology. So we're working on UCO vaccine and RS-CoV and human zoster virus and HPV, among other vaccines. We're working on them. Next is when we were working on creating a COVID-19 vaccine, there is another platform that we used, which is SNAP technology, which is a spontaneous nanoliposome antigen particle. When we express this, which is particularization, if you use the terminology. So just like virus nanoparticle, you apply this technology and create a similar or same size with the coronavirus, and you create a liposome. And if you apply 50 to 100 to them, then the human body will recognize it as a virus. So they increase the immune system. So this is a SNAP technology, and the United States Pop Biotech has this technology, and we also, when we applied this technology, we saw a fruitful result. And when it comes to Pot Biotech, we have 20% of shareholding power. So in the US, they work on HIV, RSV, among other vaccines. So they have a license. We're working on licensing out. And if you take a look below, why did we begin developing COVID-19 vaccine? You can see here. When we extract the protein antigen from here, and when we applied oil among others, and we eventually found the most effective results here, so that we are working on this. And the detailed mechanism, well, I want to dive into all the details. However, there are various journals here as reference. So, and various vaccine related, like booster vaccines or immunovaccines or multi-vaccines or among others, when you talk about them, this is going to be a very effective platform, multi-based particle. So based on the platforms, recently we worked on this bacterial conjugate vaccine, like I said earlier. And when it comes to premium virus vaccine, in partnership with POP, and we created a UPOP Life Sciences. So we work on respiratory syncytial cells vaccines or herpes dysentery vaccines, among others. So UPOP Life Sciences have this right, so they will begin clinical trial in the United States. But when it comes to Alzheimer vaccine, it might sound off compared to others. But if you take a look, based on this antibody um, technology, are we going to deal this? Well, there is one approved licensing based on just one antibody. If you would work on beta amyloid material or others, well, it might be realistically difficult. But if you work on this vaccine, so we are in partnership with other entities. So we will continue this year or next year, or we have a plan to continue conducting development on this. But well, so far, there is no actually no in fact global company who is successfully working on developing Alzheimer vaccine. But in the end, we are planning to work on it eventually. And many people would be curious about Ucovac 19 vaccine. Like I said, the development platform is similar. You use R&D antigen adoption liposome-based vaccine, and they contain immune boosters. And when you use this protein system, then you need scaffold protein. But we are liposome based, so we don't need a scaffold design. So this is another visual material. We don't need the aforementioned material, and when it comes to GBP 501, we use protein scaffold. So when it comes to repeated injection, among others, like side effects or others, we do not have those issues. We are like problem-free vaccine, I would say. Well, when it comes to the third trial, then it's more complicated. The Korean government, until August last year, they said they would keep supporting Korean companies to develop COVID vaccine. However, in the end, it's not because my Korean companies couldn't, but it was like we were not able to. So right now, in the current environment, it's really difficult to develop one. So now we're going overseas, including the Philippines, to develop it. But the Philippines government approved our clinical trial, so probably eventually we'll have some good news of developing vaccine outside of Korea. And there are a lot of discussions like booster vaccines and more general vaccines, or vector vaccines, among others. Well, I'm not saying that our company is going to work on all of the different items, but we're going to make similar steps with global standards, and we will look um, for other opportunities to get the government level support, or we will independently work on our own to develop a vaccine. Recently, BioNote recently made an investment, and based on their gene development, finding a very excellent antigen is really important. And overseas, when it comes to variants, there must be a common antigen. If the variants have all the variants have different antigens, that doesn't make sense. For example, if there's a lineage, McKim family, then their given names might be different, but because of they share a family name, they must share some same gene, right? So, based on that, reasonable approach, we will focus on a common characteristics of different variants to come up with a vaccine. And in terms of diversifying our business model, we are working on botulinum toxin and filler business. So, we recently applied for licensing for exporting, and when it comes to botulinum toxin, we completed the third clinical trial. And usually, there is this like rule, like 115 days of approval, like licensing regulations, right? But so we're waiting for it, and we are working on our strategic business model and expanding to other businesses. We're in order to mutual development with other companies, we're also working on it. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.